Hello everyone, this is Chris's Cool Videos and Fun here. Today I just want to come on here on Rumble, on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, to let y'all know I'm bisexual. I say it right now, I identify as a bisexual cisgender man. Okay, so I am still a cisgender man, I'm just bisexual. If y'all don't know what bisexual is, bisexual is someone who is attracted to both men and women. So I do still have attractions to women. I just also have attractions to men as well, right? So, let's just say though, it would have something to do with how I think of men and women, because I do find them to be also attractive as well. And so now that I'm coming out as bisexual, I would like to tell you a story. So when I was a kid, I've also, as much as I had an attraction to women, I also somewhat had an attraction to men as well and stuff. So, I mean, again, though, the only thing I saw from the LGBTQ community before I even knew what bisexual was, or even knew what bisexual was, were gays and lesbians. And that's usually that, though. And I started to confuse myself if I were to either be gay or to continue being straight. Because, well, I was confused back then because I didn't know what bisexual was in the LGBTQ community back then when I was young. The only thing I knew from the LGBTQ community was lesbians and gay people. That's it. That was before I started learning about the trans and the queers and the bis and all that going on in the LGBTQ community. But then I started to learn about bisexuality, which was the sexuality of liking both men and women. The one thing that often confuses me is within being bisexual, I was, well, of course, I've had attractions to both men and women, like I said before, but I started to get confused on whether or not I should have a man as a couple or a woman as a couple, like for me. But really, the only truth is I can choose either, well, a man or a woman. That's basically just my choice, though, because again, I am bisexual, coming out today, bisexual. Because as much as I tend to find women cute, I also found some men to be cute. I also do believe that men can be vulnerable as well, since, ever since society, for like the past centuries, men have been told to not show emotion, not cry, not get help, and all sorts of other things, which is why, they're tough, they're mean, while women are more capable of showing their emotions, because that's what society has taught women to do. Because, well, society often labels genders to act in different ways that don't really match with how they would feel often. Like you would have men that would be in the hierarchy to be the leaders, and then you would have women in the hierarchy to be, well, the caregivers in the family only. I mean, really. Men and women are humans, right? Men and women are humans. And humans have ability and strength. So while men were taught to be dominant, women were also taught to be submissive, meaning that they don't have anything, which is why the feminist movement would exist in the first place, to, give women the exact rights and the exact freedom as men, which is exactly what I find to be fair, because, it's a part of democracy. The point I'm making here is that I believe that men can be emotional as well as women. It's just that society often tells men to not show their emotions in public, which is why in public you often see women that show their emotions more comfortably around others, because society taught them so hard to do that. It's just men don't have that ability to do that, because if they were to do that in public, they could get embarrassed or something like that. And it is hard and stuff, which is why I tend to find the LGBTQ community a really good place, though, since it has men and women in that community that are more comfortable of doing certain things that they do fun things and stuff. There's a lot of things in there. There's Pride Month. There's all sorts of, which I do understand that Pride Month is getting into some sort of controversy and all that sort of things, criticism. But, I mean, despite the criticism, though, I do think that Pride Month is, a pretty good month to celebrate the freedom of men expressing how they feel, along with women expressing how they feel. I also believe that just because that men, have had a not-so-good past, that doesn't mean they can't show emotions. And just because, well, women are taught to, not be dominant, that doesn't mean they can't be dominant, okay? Because men and women are humans, meaning that they have capabilities and strengths of doing anything that they want. So with that being said, I am bisexual, meaning that, once again, I'm going to say this again, that means I am attracted to both men and women. And I support LGBTQ community, and anyone who's a part of the LGBTQ community watching this video, y'all do great. Y'all are awesome and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad I came here on YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok to talk about this video and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, special thanks to the LGBTQ community and feminist movement and all sorts of other good stuff there as well. And that's all I gotta say here. Peace.